A letter arrives at a newsroom in careful handwriting. Inside is a threat wrapped around a puzzle. At the bottom is a crossed circle symbol and a line that will echo for decades. This is the Zodiac. We'll tell this story without graphic detail and with respect for the people at the center, because behind the codes and headlines are real lives and families. Northern California, late 1960s. Quiet roads near Vallejo and Berryessa become scenes of sudden attacks. Police link incidents by timing, method, and a voice that calls afterward to claim responsibility. The name Zodiac moves from ink to fear. December 1968, Lake Herman Road. 2 teenagers out on a winter night. An ambush leaves investigators with few clues and many questions. The case is young, the pattern unclear, but the story is only beginning. July 1969, Blue Rock Springs. Darlene Farron and Mike Mageau sit in a parked car. Minutes later, gunfire shatters the calm. A payphone rings not far away. The caller speaks softly, gives precise details, and takes credit. Then the envelopes start appearing at Bay Area newspapers. Each one demands publication and threatens more violence if ignored. Inside is a cipher split 3 ways, the 408 character code. A challenge to the city and the country. Donald and Bettye Harden, a schoolteacher and his wife, study the symbols at their kitchen table. Patterns emerge where others saw only chaos. They solve the message, which boasts and dehumanizes. It offers no true name and makes clear the writer intends to keep it that way. September 1969, Lake Berryessa. 2 college students enjoy an afternoon by the water. A man in a simple disguise approaches with a calm voice and a plan. They are bound and attacked. Before leaving, the assailant writes dates and a message on a nearby car door, signing with the crossed circle symbol. October 1969, San Francisco. Cab driver Paul Stein picks up a fare in Union Square. The ride ends in Presidio Heights under the glow of streetlights. Witnesses see a man walk away. Days later, a letter arrives with a piece of the cab driver's shirt, proving authorship beyond doubt. The letters escalate as the writer taunts police and the press. Threats mention a school bus, a line that chills parents across the Bay Area. Patrols increase, routes change, and fear reshapes routines. A city learns to live between rumor and official updates. Composite sketches circulate on bulletin boards and lampposts. Tips flood hotlines as everyone thinks they've seen the face in the drawing. Across jurisdictions, detectives build a task force. Information sharing evolves from ad hoc to organized overnight. The handwriting becomes its own fingerprint. Analysts compare loops, slants, and pressure across dozens of letters. Partial fingerprints and palm marks are lifted from scenes and paper, but none close the case. A new cipher arrives in November 1969, the 340. Its diagonal logic and split lines defy solvers for half a century. In 2020, an international trio decodes it with modern tools. The message boasts and mocks, but again withholds a name. Shorter ciphers, the Z13 and Z32, generate thousands of theories. None earn official verification. The writer loves theater as much as threat. Every symbol and flourish is designed to command attention. Why is this case so hard to close? The crimes span multiple counties, each with its own files and procedures. The attacker's methods shift and the victim profiles vary. It's a fog of patterns that never quite lock into one shape. Evidence collection in the late 1960s lacked today's precision. Scenes weren't always processed for touch DNA, and surveillance cameras were rare. Over time, handling and storage added contamination risks. What remains is often partial and fragile. Investigators hope for DNA from stamps and envelopes. But not every stamp was licked by the sender, and some adhesives resist testing. Partial profiles appear and fade under scrutiny. Without a clean match, the trail refuses to harden. Arthur Lee Allen becomes a long-running person of interest after acquaintances report troubling remarks and items that seem relevant. Search warrants turn up curious details, including a watch with the Zodiac symbol and notes about weapons. But handwriting comparisons are disputed and fingerprints don't align. DNA remains inconclusive, and Allen dies in 1992 without being charged. Other names rise through media and online forums. Some are compelling on the surface, but they fracture under timelines, geography, or science. Authorities emphasize the same truth year after year. The case is open, and no suspect has been definitively proven. Beyond suspects, the system itself changes. Police learn to coordinate press relations to avoid spreading panic and to solicit useful tips. Newspaper editors debate when to publish threats and when to hold back. Public safety and public curiosity collide on the front page. Zodiac's letters create a blueprint for notoriety. They show how spectacle can hijack attention if institutions are not aligned. In response, agencies build protocols for threat assessment, evidence handling, and cross-county cooperation. The playbook gets sharper, faster, and more disciplined. For the cryptography community, the case is a long-term classroom. The 408's solution, the 340's breakthrough, and the unsolved minis keep minds engaged. Each cipher is a mirror. The writer S need for control, staring back at a city, S need for answers. The dialogue never ends because the signature never did. Through it all, the people remain the point. Families mourn loved ones, and survivors carry memories they never asked to hold. We refuse to let codes eclipse compassion. Names on headlines are not just characters in a riddle. Modern tools keep hope alive. Genealogy has closed other cold cases using distant relatives and patient statistics. If a clear DNA profile from the letters can be confirmed and preserved, a family tree might one day narrow the field. But until then, probability can't trump proof. Why this story endures is simple and uncomfortable. It lacks an ending, and endings are how we heal. A signature, a symbol, and a series of puzzles hover over the Bay Area's history. Each year adds context, but withholds closure. If you explore this case, start with verified sources and official timelines. Separate evidence from internet folklore and hold every claim against the record. Curiosity is healthy when it's careful. Speculation without evidence only blurs the truth for the people who lived it. What changed for America is larger than one unknown figure. The relationship between law enforcement and media matured under pressure. Communities learned to demand transparency and to respect investigative limits. Safety and restraint grew up together in the public square. In the end, the Zodiac story is a study in attention, how one person manipulated it and how institutions learned to manage it. Codes can be solved, but closure needs more than a clever key. It needs evidence that stands in court and a name that fits every page. We will not show graphic content on this channel and will always put people before spectacle. If you value careful, respectful storytelling, you're in the right place. Subscribe for more deep dives into cases that reshaped American life. Next up, a cold case cracked by DNA and a family tree. Stay with us.